with India to soon have a made in India Apple iPhones, as Apple has chosen Bengaluru as the assembly location. We're getting further inputs going straight across to our correspondent Jay Prakash there, who is with Mr. Deshpande, the Industrial State Minister. Jay Prakash, please go ahead.
Absolutely, sir. Big news, especially from Karnataka perspective, because even as there is a popular sentiment that there's been a downslide of investments and investors coming in, the Karnataka government initiated this Invest Karnataka Global Investors Meet. After that, there's been quite a positive response receiving from investors, and this one is a big thing which is happening in Bangalore. Apple setting up assembly plant in Bangalore, in Pune. In fact, we are joined in by a very senior cabinet minister, industries minister, Mr. R.V. Deshpande. Sir, how did the deal come through, and what was your initiatives?
Please understand, Apple has been, a leader in the world as far as iPhones are concerned, and we were targeting that company since long. I don't agree with you that Karnataka, there has been a slowdown. For information, we are number one in the country as far as the investment proposals are concerned, followed by Gujarat. Now, a lot of efforts have gone in by the Industries Department, the IT Department, to rope in. And I'm happy to tell you that in principle they have agreed to start their assembling unit in Pune Industry Estate. Maybe in the next few months it will happen, and this will help in creating a cutting-edge technology ecosystem which is required today, because in this competitive world, India requires such companies. And I'm very humbly telling you, very proud to tell you, that iPhones are manufactured only in 2 countries. India will be the 3rd country, and that too Bengaluru, who is recently rated as the most dynamic city. It is happening here.
Sir, along with Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, and as well as Madhya Pradesh were in race, what clinched for Karnataka? Were there any swaps offered by you?
Please understand, all these are matters, I think, which I would like to keep in carpet for some time. But I think the very important thing which they might have thought was, this is the R&D center of the world. This is the richest human resource place in the world. And the transparency in dealing, encouraging and supporting might have definitely made them look at Karnataka, Bengaluru.
Sir, company sources tell us that they are actually taking over Lenovo area in Pune, which is about 2 to 3 acres, and it's going to be plug and play. And very soon, maybe end of March or April, operations will start. But in terms of investment and job creations, what are we looking at? What are the numbers?
See, please understand, first they have to enter. They will start manufacturing, assembling. Ultimately, you are right, in Pune they are doing it, I said it. But ultimately, they will have to go for manufacturing. Because please understand, India has a very rich potential. It has a big belly. That I mean is domestic market. And they have also an export market. Very few countries in this world have this advantage. And Apple rightly has chosen India, Bengaluru, to see that they not only assemble, manufacture, and as they are the leaders in the world, keep up their leadership.
Is it setting a precedent now? Xiaomi has always been eyeing Bangalore also, now that Apple has got. And Bangalore has got highest number of engineering colleges and talent pool, as you mentioned. Is it some kind of a policy that you're drawing up to attract other investors too?
Definitely. Please understand, our policies are very pragmatic and positive. And not only that, if some company comes which is going to create large employment and also help the state and the country to grow, we will not leave any stone unturned to get that investment.
Well, thank you for speaking to NewsX. Seher, as you heard, March or early April, that is when Apple will start assembling units, and very soon they'll have to expand and go for manufacturing too. So Bangalore becoming a hub for Apple, and this is in fact going to lead competitive pricing, because prices of Apple are higher compared to other countries in India, and now we can see some reduction once the assembly starts in Bangalore, which is early April. Seher.
Right, Jayaprakash, very interesting responses that you've got us from the Industrial State Minister. They're very confident, of course, with this much given boost to the city of Bengaluru, saying not just an assembling unit in near future, an eventuality here being that this could be a manufacturing buzz here for iPhone as well. Right, Jayaprakash, that question, of course, being for you, but we heard it there from the Industrial State Minister as well. We've got in yet another response from the Karnataka IT Minister too. Yes, stay on with us, Jayaprakash. We're going to play out a response here that's coming from Mr. Priyank Kharge as well, once again speaking exclusively to us.
It's a good validation for Karnataka and the Bangalore ecosystem that we provide, and also a very strong validation for the policies and ease of doing business in Karnataka. It's going to come in the heart of Bengaluru, in Pune industrial area. That having been said, we see a huge, there will be a lot of job opportunities for that, but more than that, I see a lot of local MSMEs and the SMEs. I think that is what will be the game changer for us. And we are open to any high-end manufacturing way of electronics in Karnataka.
And this is a live call-in segment. A very quick reminder to our viewers, the question that we're asking you, what makes Bengaluru number one? Clearly a question of India's pride here, a huge boost to the Made in India, and now hashtag Made in Bengaluru is what we're promoting this as. We're taking in your views. We're going to be taking in several callers calling in on this as well. Jayaprakash, did you have a chance to ask either the IT Minister or even the Industrials Minister here on the reason why Bengaluru was chosen by...
Well, I'm going to put that straight. I'm going to toss that question to. Hectic negotiations have been having. 3 officials from Apple had come. So, what clinched the deal, sir?
See, the deal was clinched, as I told you, mainly because of the pragmatic stand and positive stand taken by the government. So please understand, were also targeting Apple. Please understand this. And we wanted Apple, like Toyota. 5 states were competing then. I wanted Toyota. I got them. Likewise, please understand, this is a competitive world, competitive country. Every state has realized that without investments, no employment could be generated, no prosperity can come. So in the right way, the industry's IT department have played a role which is in the interest of the country and the state to bring them here.
Sir, Karnataka was always an ideal investment destination, but in the last decade, we've seen there is degeneration in politics, policies also to a certain extent. And apart from Toyota and Volvo, we have not seen big names that have come in, maybe because of political instability in Karnataka that is seen in the last decade. But what are the kind of tinkering that you're doing in the policies?
I don't believe in instability.
Because this is Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh.
See, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, they only speak. I don't want to comment on any state. Global investors meet are made to say 5 lakh, 6 lakh crores. MOUs have been signed. I never took pride in signing MOUs. No, I had to sign. But I cleared investments. Today I'm number 1 in the country as far as investment concerned. I got Asian Paints in Mysore, the biggest plant. I got GlaxoSmithKline, the biggest plant of theirs in the world. I got Havels in Vasantharasapura. How many these food parks are coming up? And see, Hemasingha in Hassan, more than 1,200 crores investment we have cleared. So there are many projects. Mitsubishi, we are inaugurating the plant in the next 3-4 days. So please understand, Karnataka, they don't come because of the Deshpande is the Industries Minister. Please be frank. It is the strength Karnataka has. The logistics they have, the human resource they have, the law and order they have, the ecosystem which we have, and the wonderful climate they have. And this is a cosmopolitan city, and people are cosmopolitan. So many advantages are there. It's not because Mr. R.V. Deshpande is the minister they come here. I'm just a person who has to do ambassador's job on behalf of the government, nothing more than that.
There you heard Zahir thumping his chest and showing off another feather in the cap for Karnataka and Bangalore in particular. Back to Zahir.
Right, Jayaprakash, would Mr. Deshpande's State Minister be privy to certain exemptions that iPhone was looking at to eventually come here to India? They, of course, were asking for incentives, several tax and other incentives, including tax holidays. Has that come through, because of which Apple has finally decided to set base here?
So this question is coming back and forth. In fact, Apple has been, bargaining hard with the union government on concessions, but they got a thumbs down last year. But in Karnataka, it is happening. What kind of role the center has played? What is Karnataka's role?
You understand, union government, central government is also keen in investments. Prime Minister is going around all over the world asking for investments. And, Make in India we have on 13th and 14th of this month. So please understand, there are some issues which they have been knocking the door of Indian government. I am told that they will be resolved. And we are there as our ambassadors. We will take up the, the brief of Apple if required, and try to take help.
Is there some kind of a tailor-made concessions and shops, or is a uniform policy?
No. See, there cannot be some, there is a policy. Always there cannot be a uniform policy. There will be something which will have to bring them to
Okay. All right, please stay on with us, because we're taking in callers as well. We'll be taking in prominent voices coming in from the city of Bengaluru. Mr. Harish Bujur, who's brand guru, with us. Thanks for being with us. In your view, what does this spell for the state of Karnataka, for the city of Bengaluru?
Well, if Bengaluru gets to bite the big apple, and Apple is the big apple in the world if you really look at it,
right,
I think it is going to be a fantastic achievement for Karnataka. And if that happens, then I would say it is the tenacity of the efforts of the state government to an extent. And I would, of course, say hats off to Mr. Deshpande and co. For having achieved the unachievable to an extent. Of course, there are issues to be resolved, and I think they are at the doorstep of the union government at this point of time. Apple and IKEA have very unique issues, and many of these issues are related to packaging declarations, formatting, design, and items such as that, which are proprietary to both Apple and IKEA. Once resolved, I think it's a great thing for Bengaluru.
Right. So you're also indicating what close to what the State Minister, Mr. Deshpande, also said, that several of these issues, they're still in talks, but nevertheless, Apple still setting ground here in Bengaluru, still deciding that India, of course, being a very prominent country, the best place to set up manufacturing unit, which would be an eventuality. Do you think that's going to be an eventuality, manufacturing the phone here as well, apart from just making this as an assembling unit hub?
Yes, I think, it all starts with the toehold. A city becomes a kind of an assembly unit, and then further it becomes, a local manufacturer. We have seen that in the case of Nokia in the past, as far as the Chennai unit, the not-so-famous Chennai unit as of today. But I would expect the same thing from Apple. And I think the ecosystem of Bengaluru is a terrific ecosystem-based industry such as Apple. And, I think it adds to the entire aura of Bengaluru. And it would be positive strides for the city if we get it.
Right. Mr. Bijur, looking at Apple's profile here, the kind of reputation that they come up with him, do you think it's justified for a tailor-made setup that they're really looking at to set base here in India, talks that they've been with the central government in the past few weeks?
Apple is a global corporation. We're talking about Apple Inc. It has a footprint which is very, very global. Same thing goes for IKEA and N numbers of others who are planning an entry. I think compromises need to be made by the government of India at points of time. Because at times, many of our laws and strictures are reasonably antediluvian, and they do not provide for a level playing field for the world.
Okay.
And I think companies like Apple and IKEA are looking for that level playing field. And if they get it, nothing like it.
All right, Mr. Bajur, Brand Guru, appreciate you speaking to us. Of course, very clearly mentioning that Apple, if it's really also looking at a tailor-made arrangement here on tax incentives, tax holidays here to be given for not just an assembling unit, but also even eventuality being a manufacturing unit here in India as well, rightfully asking for that concession, as is being made clear, stated by the Industrial State Minister here as well, that they're still on talks with that to fine-tune perhaps that to an extent. We've been getting in several responses. We've had several state ministers speak to us on this as well, and we're soon going to be taking in callers from our viewers on this as well. The question that we're asking, the reason why the state of Bengaluru, the city of Bengaluru gets the edge, and why Apple decides to make Bengaluru number one in this sense. It's a huge boost. Jayaprakash, our correspondent there, Jayaprakash, asking you if you still have Mr. Minister Deshpande there, not just a huge boost to the Make in India campaign, but the Make in Bengaluru as well.
Absolutely. The minister is quietly, he's with us patiently hearing us out. Sir, this has been a major boost for the Make in India pitch. So this actually sets a precedent. So how are we taking it forward?
Understand, Make in India started in Karnataka long back. Bosch came in 1963. But we are with the government of India. We are also holding on 13-14. And please understand, Apple has also come here rightly, because they know, as you rightly said, costs are higher. They have to be competitive. They have to look at their future also. And India is one country, or Bangalore is one place. In addition to what I said, they can manufacture definitely competitive product than any other part of the world.
See, at a time when there is a competitive economy around the world, when this Trump administration taken on America, saying that buy American, manufactured by American, and so Bangalore as such has seen some kind of a disorientation because of this traffic issues, infrastructure, non-availability of land, and real estate issues. So how are we dealing it?
Please understand, issues are there. Issues, even fully resolved, there will be in future. No part of the world is free from this disease, but I don't take pride. But I'm proud to say, our government has taken many initiatives in easing the traffic. Maybe the Hebbal flyover, maybe the peripheral road which we are trying to bring in with the help of Surface Transport Ministry, the elevated corridors we are trying to bring, the metro first phase will be inaugurated in first week of this year. Second phase work has started. Then we are making 2A phase, where 18 kilometers road will be taken up with innovative funding from the Central Silk Board to the Kayarpuram. And likewise, we are also planned that the metro goes to the airport. Several initiatives have been taken, but you should understand the state governments have limited resources. So we are finding it new ways of innovative funding.
Absolutely. I was going to come to the point because of this union budget which was presented yesterday. Now, the thing is, day before yesterday, sorry.